The Justice Department is launching a criminal investigation into Letitia James over mortgage fraud allegations. The DOJ is probing whether the New York Attorney General misrepresented a home in Virginia as her primary residence to get more favorable loan terms, and whether she bought a 5-family property in Brooklyn with a loan that's meant for homes with 4 units or less. Here with the read on this investigation, former U.S. Attorney Jay Town. Jay, thank you so much for being here. Can you first, just off the top, just give me your read on this investigation? Where do you think it's going?
Well, so there is a grand jury convened in the Eastern District of Virginia, which is Northern Virginia, right outside of D.C. And then the FBI, at least it's being reported, is looking into the Manhattan dwelling in New York. And that would end up probably with the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney's Office if a grand jury were to convene yet. We don't know if that's ongoing or not. But essentially, folks need to understand that a grand jury does not convene just because we call it to. There has to be some predication. By predication, I mean some evidence that a crime may have been committed, and then the grand jury determines if, in fact, a crime has been committed. The real, Abby Lowell, who's Tish James's lawyer, has come out and said that this is political retribution. What I would flip and say is that it would be a miscarriage of justice if DOJ were to just spike this case and not go forward with it simply because there's a Democrat who's the AG in New York who targeted the current president, President Trump, in what is widely regarded as a ridiculous investigation and assessment of civil fines and forfeitures. And really, the lawfare that was used against Trump was really to prevent these types of investigations from ever occurring. So we just have to be patient and let the evidence and facts and the law play out.
You mentioned Abby Lowell, Tish James' attorney. He sent a letter last month to the DOJ on these investigations, reading in part, quote, "These baseless and long discredited allegations put to rest my April 24 letter to the Department of Justice are suddenly back in the news just days after President Trump publicly attacked Attorney General James. This appears to be the political retribution President Trump threatened to exact that AG Bondi assured the Senate would not occur on her watch. If prosecutors are genuinely interested in the truth, we are prepared to meet false claims with facts." This is going to be a very public fight.
It is, and that's just right out of the Abby Lowell playbook. Remember, the Hunter Biden investigation and prosecution and convictions, those were political as well, according to Abby Lowell, and Hunter Biden was really guilty. So it is just lawyers have to do this. They have to be zealous, and I'm fine with that. I don't know that attacking Pam Bondi in this Department of Justice is going to be a great idea as far as if the facts don't play out as Abby Lowell might see them. I don't know that Tish James is going to get much grace from this DOJ if they're continually attacked by her lawyer.
So this is very early in the investigation. Things are just getting started. But when you look at what they are investigating, you look at these cases that they have their eyes on, what type of charges could possibly follow?
Yeah, well, mortgage fraud is a very common crime that's prosecuted federally. It happens all over the country. It's probably a daily occurrence that someone is indicted in this country for mortgage fraud. And just think of it this way: you are not telling the truth on a mortgage application, whether it's your collateral is worth less, or in this case, the residence that you want the mortgage loan for is not going to be your primary residence. There's lots of reasons to claim the primary residence. One, it's a better rate. Primary resident homeowners are less likely to default because it's their home, right? But secondary homeowners do, and that's just data. So there's advantages to it. And so now that's up to 30 years in federal prison. Now, I will say that the average sentence is between 2 and 4 years in federal prison, but it's a very easily proven offense, and it's also a very commonly proven offense. So there's a lot of experience inside of this Department of Justice to bring these charges forward.
Well, we will absolutely continue to follow this. And again, the New York Attorney General does deny any of this, accusing the president and his DOJ of being political. We're just going to have to wait. As you said, we have to be patient. J-Town, thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.